G'day listeners, welcome to Barkarati, the sailing podcast. My name's Jordan Spencer. It's that time of the week where we get to hang out with some very cool sailors, but we have to do it with, of course, my two idiot mates. So first off, Mr. Brett Perry.
Greetings, exalted one.
BP, you there? You there?
Yeah, g'day guys. Oh, now you're interrupting my Christmas shopping.
Your poor wife, she suffers through so much, mate. I love it.
No, it's exciting. I can't wait to see who we get on the line, to be honest.
Okay, all right, let's bring in the other bloke.
He had a voice that could make a wolverine purr.
Mr. Nick Bice. Jeez, I love that intro. That's such a nice...
Oh, it just gets me in the mood to
cracking.
really, for my favourite time of the week, of taking the piss out of you two blokes, and you just make it so easy for me. But this week...
It's my favourite time of the week with you taking the piss out of us.
But this week, we get to take the piss out of a few others as well. In a friendly type of way, of course. So, special ep this week, Jordan, but I'll hand back to you to introduce what we're doing here. And for those that are listening before, well, essentially as this is released, it's a bit of early Christmas present, let's say.
Oh, Bice. Just
nice words, Bicey. Nice words.
You sort of threw me in the mud last night, I noticed, and so we are doing an early Christmas present. So here we go. We obviously we start on Monday, Sydney to Hobart yacht race. It's one of the major events of the year, and
second greatest race.
Yep, second greatest. Behind, I wonder what you're referring to there, boss.
The Teakle Classic,
yeah.
Of course.
Anyway, so the obvious choice was you could listen to the talking heads on the TV and try and understand the race, or we could just ring up a few of our mates and find out exactly what's going on behind the scenes, and they'll tell us honestly. There'll be none of the filtered language that you get in mainstream coverage. So we went for that. And we've put it together, haven't we, lads?
We have.
So,
certainly have.
All right. So, shall we just rip straight into it?
All righty. No worries. I'm ready.
Go, BP. Do it. Ring someone.
All right. I'll get my finger on the button. Here we go. Tom, you there, mate?
Yo, hey. How's it going?
Hey, how you going? Sorry to surprise you this early in the morning.
Oh, that's all right. I've been up staring at weather for a while.
The joys of being a navigator, mate.
Yeah, I know.
How much fun is it?
It's all good. Oh, it's a lot of fun, really. I've got a bit of help this time as well, it turns out. So.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And what's that?
So,
I've got we've stolen an Aussie.
Oh.
We've got Adrian coming with us.
Oh.
So we've got I've got a bit of local knowledge to fall back on, so I think we'll be okay.
there we go. Good on you. So where are you at the moment? You're at the CYC on the boat?
Yeah. Sat at my little nav table right now.
We should explain, BP, for the listeners who don't know who Adrian is. Adrian Cahalan, I'm assuming?
Yep.
Oh,
so,
bring in the big guns. The big guns are in, eh?
Very, very...
Yeah, it was actually quite a happy accident in that one of our regular crew... couldn't make it. I think she's actually back in the UK now, but she was delivering Pip, Hares and Mocha back from the other side of the Transat, and they were all a bit delayed, so she didn't think she was going to make it. So we suddenly had a spot, and then weirdly Adrian emailed Dave on the same day saying, "Oh, my ride's just dropped out for the Hobart.
Wow.
Don't suppose you need a hand," which is just one of those things. So
I guess she had to go through the standard interview process,
Oh yeah, we had to. Took a lot of bumming and ahhing,
Hey guys, shit! Adrian's just called us. Let's get her.
That's unreal. Like, that is unreal. Like, you guys have come with you're such a hot little boat in the European season, which would make you probably mid-fleet here in Australia. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I've got no idea. I mean, we're I mean, it's certainly one of the thing I was most worried about is that the shipping was a bit delayed. We've all been here just for a few days. We've got a completely new sail inventory with and we've changed some crossovers and stuff. So we were a little bit on the back foot in terms of some of the prep compared to how we'd approach stuff if we were doing it back home.
Yep.
So actually, having Adrian and a bit and all that local knowledge, we have got, both Dave Sweet. I think he's done 6. Maybe this will be his 6th Hobart. He's kind of the boss. And we've got a girl, Bex Hornell, who's I think she's done 1. So we're not we've got a little bit of experience, but certainly having someone rock up and this be their 30th Hobart adds a lot.
No question. So for the listeners, obviously we're talking about the boat Sunrise, which is a JPK 1180 down from United Kingdom. So it's a big effort to be here. Is it? I mean, you're sort of getting excited yet, or is it still sort of all preparation? As you said, you sort of got a bit of rush on.
No, we're pretty excited. We went out. We went out through the heads for the first time yesterday, and it's funny. Like we've got our British tourists with us who a few people it's their first time in Australia, and selfies in front of the bridge and the Opera House yesterday. We were in proper tourist mode, all very excited.
That's fantastic. It's good that you can actually sort of step back and enjoy the place. I mean, the harbour is it's a special place to sail, and for those of you who haven't done the start of this race, that is an experience to behold. Absolutely, when you get out there, it is thoroughly enjoyable.
I'm interested, BP, whether they remembered to turn right at the heads or left.
It is quite a common joke, Tom, when you get there and you think, what way do I go? Because you know that north is Hamilton Island and the Whitsundays, and you know that south is Bass Strait. But this year it's let's talk about this year.
You guys keep the sun in the wrong place as well, so it is a little bit disorienting.
It goes down over the land. Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting. So BP's question spot on. What's your thoughts on the race? What are you seeing?
I mean, so it looks like a bit of a downwind sleigh ride, really. I think my forecast has moderated a little bit today from yesterday, but still, we're still seeing downwind all the way to Tasman Island, which is cool. I was worried a few days ago when it looked like we were going to do like the 52s, etc., would get there all the way downwind, and we'd have to do the last bit upwind, which seemed a bit rubbish.
Not fair.
But it seems it'll be interesting. And we go okay in big breeze downwind. I'd be worried if it was like our weakness is, which is no secret, is sort of medium downwind BMG. We're a wide reaching boat with 2 rudders, and big A sails, and we don't really plane until it's high teens, 20 knots. So the boats that end up in our division that can kind of on big S sails that can pole back, normally would beat us in a true run. But it looks like it's windy enough for us to stretch our legs.
Well, I've got to say, I had a look this morning, and I sort of went, "Wowzers, there's some big numbers there." And one thing that from experience that you can expect that it's there's going to be parts in the race where it's well and truly above what you were forecasted. So and
the final bit down. So probably just after or towards the end of Bass Strait, I think it could be very windy. Which is, which is kind of something that, we quite like. So, we'll see.
The other interesting thing is, as you said, it gets fresher as the days goes on. So it does sort of look like the smaller boats are going to have a bit of fun. The thing that is interesting though, is the tides. If you look at the currents that are flowing down the coast, it's pretty ugly in terms of.
Well, a few days ago, I thought we were going to have adverse current the whole way down the coast.
Yeah. Well,
so it'd be interesting to see how that develops. I was looking at some images yesterday that looked like there was a streak of good current, but and again, that's another one of those things that's pretty alien to me here. I've not sailed up this coast before.
Well, it's a part of the race that is almost as big as the weather forecast. I can give you that tip. You find yourself in some quality current going with you, it can make or break the race. So it's really important. But it's one of those things. You've got this forecast. It's about going as fast as you can for as long as you can. That's probably the glutch of this one, by the looks of it.
Yeah.
So, have you done any modelling on your obviously you're sitting there running numbers and doing lots of routing. Have you got any guesstimate on how long it's going to take?
Yeah. So this morning I think is the quickest I'd seen, despite the forecast. Like certainly the top end of the GFS was down this morning, but I've got anywhere from sort of 55 to 70 hours, which is a pretty quick race for us.
For a 38 foot boat, absolutely.
Yeah. And
then we're
go on.
and I have sort of my little game yesterday and this morning was running a 52 versus us and doing the IRC number.
Yep.
And actually I think it looks fairly, I think they beat us, but just I think I think we have a shot.
Yep.
So it'd be interesting. I guess it'd be interesting in the top end of that forecast whether an average 52 has to throttle back a bit when actually we're fairly composed, but which is just the advantage of having a wide boat with two rudders. We're pretty happy.
Yeah, you can just keep sending it.
Well, that's certainly what we found in the Middle Sea race, which was the first time we'd done a sort of long race in over 30 knots. We in the Middle Sea we were initially on an A4, and then we had this sort of A5 chicken chute thing that we hadn't really used before. And
is that a standard flying tail, or is it running a cable with a top down furler, or how are you going with that?
No, that's just a good old fashioned loose luff kite. But we've developed on that this year. We've just built a sort of replacement for that that's more of a runner. So we found that was a bit flat and not very forgiving. So
yes,
which we were out testing yesterday, and not very much breeze, but it looks good. So I think we've kind of feel like we've probably made good decisions on sail plan and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We have changed a few things there. North have done a great job on our our new sail setup actually.
Nicely done. Without giving your strategy away, and so you can tell me to piss off on this question if you want. Where do you see the risks in the race? Like that you'd be cautious of. And I know as a navigator, you want to keep that. You want to let people find their own risks. So I'm expecting you to tell me.
Yeah. I actually sort of think this one is. We're not. Fairly open normally. I don't think we're expecting any huge shifts down that run.
Yep.
So I think it's as you alluded to earlier, like finding that current, which is even more important with this forecast, where not only are you going to have positive current, but you're going to have flat water, and you're not going to break your boat.
Yep.
And then actually, it's going to be interesting to see how turning the corner and going up towards the entrance to the Doe, and how that is in that wind direction. And I think it could be windy on that corner, so
no question. Storm Bay is a whole new race.
I think that's probably the risk for me.
Yep.
Is that we you go around there expecting one thing and find something else. So that's where I'm delighted that we've got Adrian with us to say,
absolutely,
I've seen this before or whatever. Yeah. And we're getting some good weather advice from a few places as well. So I think
just get a bit concerned when she says, "I haven't seen it like this before."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Well, the other thing is,
I think she's rolled the dice enough times to see most of the sides of it.
You're definitely in luck having her on board for sure.
There is one major risk that you probably haven't thought of, is that after smoking downhill for 600 nautical miles, just having a ball, you're probably not going to want to stop. You're doing in 25 knots, just smoking it. You're not going to turn right and into Storm Bay. I think that's your risk. But the other risk...
looking at the weather, I think you'll be wanting to turn right pretty quick.
Yeah. I guess the only real risk is if in the doing it goes quiet. That's where you can make those last few those minutes.
And I think the problem with where we are, in being a bit smaller at the moment, the time I've got us getting there at not an ideal time of day.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know how that'll play out.
Rule of thumb is before sundown.
Yeah. So, we're definitely looking like we're in that window at the moment. So that'll be interesting.
Very good.
To see how that plays out.
Don't slow down is the tip. Just go as hard as you can, mate. We'll be following with interest, my friend.
Wow. Yeah. Thanks very much. It's good to have a little. Actually, it's great to have some local sport, and we've been chatting to so many people.
Yeah, cool.
Down there at the yacht club, and everyone's been just delighted that we're here and that we've made.
Yes, absolutely.
We've met some cool people, seen some familiar faces. It's great.
All right, mate. Well, listen, thanks for coming on the line at short notice, and don't forget to stop for a second, look around, enjoy yourself, enjoy the hospitality at the club, enjoy the harbour, and have a great and safe race.
Nice. Thanks very much.
The only other thing I'd say is just when the camera's on, you'll give us a wave so that everyone knows that you're waving to the Barkarati crew.
We will.
Cool.
Good on you, Tom.
All right, mate. Have a great one.
All right.
We're with you.
Thanks, mate.
All right. Continuing on, BP, who have you got lined up next, mate?
Well, we know what time of year it is when we're speaking of this bloke.
The Christmas tradition.
The Christmas tradition. We just mentioned it. We've got the one and only Mark Squarky Bradford, the skipper of Blackjack. Let's get him on.
Squark.
Welcome to the show, mate.
I thought you were talking about Santa Claus.
Yeah, or the Grinch, the Grinch of Christmas,
exactly.
But he comes in blue.
I fit that mould. Blade Christmas.
Oh, yeah, it gets in the way of a good yacht race, doesn't it?
This is a tradition, and it is Christmas. And, you are the head of North Sales in Australia, mate. Are we in line for a merch pack?
Merch pack, you reckon?
Oh, look, yeah. Look, it's 100% it's in the post. So you just go out there and sit on the letterbox and you wait for it. But look, our core business is making sales, not giving away stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I know a few blokes who've had to sit on some letterboxes waiting for the odd credit card receipt to come through.
The olden days.
It may or may not be in the mail. Righto, got it. We understand. Welcome to the show. Right, let's talk about Hobart. You're on the Blackjack.
Yeah. We're back. We're back, believe it or not. I mean, our thing's kind of a roller coaster. Every year it's like, that's it. We're not coming back. We're going to Europe. We're doing something else. And here we are again. I think it's 12 or 13 times now. So what a roller coaster it is.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't look like a roller coaster at the minute, mate. Just a downwind slide.
The 27th of December is going to be the best day sailing of our lives this year.
100%.
It is going to be a cracker. Absolute cracker.
Well, why don't you fill us in? So we've got Blackjack heading down the coast. Let's have a chat about that. Yeah,
so look, interesting this year. Scallywag's not here. She's getting a refit, new rig and some bits and pieces, maybe a couple of sails.
Maybe a new stern or two.
Well, look, we discovered some interesting things with Scallywag. I mean, I'm involved with Blackjack, but I also am heavily involved with all the technical stuff on these boats because we sell sails to most of them.
Yeah.
And so Scallywag next year is going to be formidable. But this year we have, got
your time on them this year, you reckon?
Well, yeah, look, if you can get some good odds for next year, I'd be putting it on Scallywag.
Oh, cool.
And then this year, Comanche, obviously, that's all that everyone's talking about. Wild Oats, they've got a little bit more rocker than us, so in a downwind, heavier race, they feature pretty well. They do have the unofficial race record. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about that, are we?
No, we can talk whatever we want.
Yeah, we're Barkarati. We can do whatever we want.
No, we're officially unofficial.
That's right. Technically, they've elapsed half an hour faster than Comanche has ever, or 20-something minutes. And I can hear Sean Langman starting to perk up about the time he went down his trimaran in March or something and did it even quicker again. But in the race time, I've done it door to door the quickest out of everyone. And then, Law Connect, they've got a fantastic group on that thing. It just gets better and better. And, I think
they do.
We could see 4 boats at the corner side by side.
Yeah.
What a
Mate,
dream.
how about you've obviously done the typical yachty answer of, oh, yeah, we're trying our hardest. We've got a great team. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. How about you just say, fuck, we are going to send it 27th, straight through, probably leave them in our dust?
Yeah. Well, look, there's quite a few of my competitors talking like that, so I'll reserve the right just to go with the
just to hold it till customs
underdog.
backs against the wall.
I've heard comments like, if we don't win, it'll be embarrassing and stuff like that. So I'm not going to even go down that road. I'd love to.
Right.
Deep down, I would love to. You've all seen me in full flight. I can do it with the best of them, but at this point, I'm going to be a little bit. We're going to go under
reserved.
the radar. Yeah, we've all got our red undies and our lucky charms, and we're packed with just fate.
Mate.
Yeah, nice. I like it too, yeah.
The forecast is pretty cool.
Bag full of fate.
You're defending champs, right? You won the line on us last race. So the only thing, looking at this weather model, do you guys actually run out? Do you go too fast and you get out of the wind on your modelling at all, or not?
Yeah, so, you'll talk to a bunch of people, as I'm sure you have. My view on it is we're going to be off the front of the heavy stuff. Look around Tasman Light and around Tasmania, it's always just out of control anyway because the sea state's out of control and it's bloody windy. So if you take that part out of the race, like the last sort of 100 mile into the corner, the rest of it's, for us, is a moderate downwind race. 14 to 20.
Yeah, the SNS
not bad for the long, skinny fellas.
Yeah,
if you wanted to choose something against the powerful guys.
Yeah. Look, I don't know how technical you want me to get, but I'll relate it back to sailboat sales. So, Comanche, like a Volvo 70, is a jib top. It does 70 to 110 true wind angle beautifully. If you're going from one point to another in a straight line, you'll never beat it. Doesn't matter what that straight line is, you'll never beat it. As soon as you have to tackle a jibe or BMG or spend time on the other jibe, it's a whole different prospect.
Yeah. It's sort of looking that way. I mean,
what's the splits looking like, you reckon?
Oh, how do you
it will be BMG for majority.
Oh, it's a northerly, yeah. We're going 180. So, look, if you listen to Comanche, they're like, a day on port and 3 hours on starboard to Tasman Light. But, we've got there's a few shifts. The advantage of the BMG thing is you can take those little shifts, and shorten up. So I think it'll be more interesting than your viewers or your listeners think it might be. I think it could be quite a close race.
Absolutely.
What about the current stuff? Because there's a lot of sort of quite volatile current floating around. It's changing up a bit. And there may be some plays just on current alone.
100%. There's some really good little rivers in the middle of it, and they bring some nice features. I mean, apart from just the assistance of the tide, it's flatter water.
Flatter water was a comment.
And these boats, they're big boats and all the rest of it. But like all sailing boats, they do their best work in flat water. Like they're frighteningly fast in flat water. The waves do slow them down, and the bigger boats get hurt a fair bit in the waves because the wetted surface area of the hull goes up and down a lot every time they go through a wave. They just got to do it with brute force and horsepower.
Yep.
It's interesting. What about
how about your crew this year? Any major changes or sticking with the core?
So last year was an interesting year for us. We had COVID, the doors were locked. We've got a domestic group. We had Sam Newton and Hendo and some Wild Oats guys, and we sort of filled it up with all Australians and, all of our friends that are GT and those sort of people. They've all gone to different camps this year, but they'll never really, they'll look back fondly on that race, I'm sure, but they're not core blackjack people. Our guys are largely the Alinghi sailing team, which is Dean Phipps, Simon Daubney, and Will McCarthy, and then out of that you end up with a guy named Yocca Signorini, who you'd know, Bicey.
Got a few close.
Yeah. And I haven't sailed with everybody, but I've sailed with almost everybody on the planet. From, Brad Butterworth, Chris Dixon. I mean, I can drop names till you get sick of hearing the names. Haven't sailed with Russell. He's probably the only one. Yocca's the fastest. Hands down.
Yeah,
right.
I haven't sailed with Torben Grail. I've sailed against him. But I'm going to call it right here, right now. Yocca is the fastest man on the planet.
Oh, wow.
Yocca and Pablo could have a staunch off.
Yeah.
Oh, well, look, that's right. I mean, I haven't sailed with Pablo, but, they're the same DNA.
Absolutely. Just know how to go fast.
I mean, look, without sounding like a tool, I can drive a sailing boat reasonably efficiently, and he blows my numbers away.
Yeah.
Sure, Pablo's in the same family.
Keep the strict charts off.
So
just in case.
He won't be sleeping.
Yeah.
Well, he'll be on
earning his money.
Yeah.
So have you run the numbers? Like what time frame? Like, are you breaking a record, or is it just not going to be windy enough?
I don't think so. 1 day, 9 hours is the fastest, which is inside the record by 15 minutes or something like that.
Right. Okay. So we're just outside, likely.
Yeah, and then we're 1 day 15. Is one of the models.
Are we going to bother sleeping or not? Or are you going to run? You will run or watch?
Well, I'll sleep.
Mate, this is the smart bloke. That's why we're talking to the smart bloke here.
I've got one job. That's get the money. Once I've got the money, I'm
done.
Sleep.
Get out of the heads.
These other plonkers.
Out of the heads, and you're down below again.
Crack a beer.
Yeah, look, we've got a pretty solid squad. We've got Adam Beashel. We'll drive on a watch. Knocker, world famous Anthony Nossiter, Scott Beavis. And myself and Yocca. So we'll rotate through. We've got a 4-watch system. Right. We've got a frontline helmsman, frontline trimmers, Daubs and Will and Vorney and Hutch, those sort of guys. And then our pitmen are Clarkey and Chris Anderson from Brisbane.
Yeah.
And then we've got an all-star bow squad of Silas, Flano, Bevo, and Liam Wolfe. Who
reminds me,
here we go.
If you go well when we request a bit of a post-race interview, don't line Silas up with him.
That's right. I did that. What was that, last year?
Last year.
He was dribbling, wasn't he?
Said everything complete opposite to what
he was a bit wobbly, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And what about the old famous saying, "Sorry, John"? We're going to hear that. We're going to hear that a fair bit, I would say, going down south.
Every time I see John, I say sorry. I put him in tough spots. I've done it for 20 years. We're still friends. Now, Flano last year had COVID, so he didn't come.
That's right.
So this is his redemption tour.
Yeah.
Mate. So to answer your question, Nick, we've got our crew is top notch.
Shit up. It sounds.
Did I mention Juan Villa, or did I leave that?
Oh, no, you left him out.
Or you forgot to drop another name. Oh, Jesus.
Juano. The great thing about your setup, though, mate, you've just said, we've got the offshore setup. We've got the Alinghi team, basically, and everyone sounds like an Aussie, though. Every name, Wano.
Yeah.
It's just
good, isn't it?
When you get on, you either add a O or a Y to the end of it.
Sounds like an Aussie.
Welcome to Oz.
Yeah,
no. Yeah.
What about you've named some. You've got some offshore people there. You've named some Queenslanders there. You've got some Sydney people. You've got some South Australian people there. Do they ever fight? Over state of origin or something like that? Is there any do you set up the crews?
See, the great thing about this is a fantastic question, Jordan. The great thing about this sailing team is that all of these lemons come from bloody South Australia and New South Wales and all over the place, and they get to be Queenslanders. just for 1 day.
You wakers have set this up, haven't you?
Yeah.
You smelling what I'm cooking? Although, to be fair, there's a couple of Kiwis, and once every 4 years, we wouldn't mind being Kiwis, right?
Yeah. I hear you. All right, cool.
Beauty.
Good work.
Very
mate.
good. Well, that's the rundown. So we've got a shit-hot team and a shit-hot boat and dead downwind. It's going to be tactical. It's going to be everything we want.
Yeah, so there's two things that have jumped out to me from that. One is next year's betting, get in early. But this year's betting, there's there's some pretty good money. You guys can be picked up for some pretty good money. So the chances are there. And yeah,
what are the odds? What are the odds there, Boise? Let's have a quick look at Sportsbet.
I think we're out at $4.
Yeah, no, this is makes for really good
beyond
podcasting.
$4 last I checked.
Just while I'm looking shit up on my phone, it's good podcast stuff.
Yeah, well, that's how we roll at Barkarati.
We should have had the odds up.
We'll run some odds on the wrap of the show.
Yeah.
And by the time everyone listens, it's too late to bet anyway. So stiff shit. You should have put money on them.
Yeah, I think the money, it's $250 on. I'm sounding like what was that South African cricket guy that was betting on his?
Hansi.
Yeah, Hansi. I'm sounding like
Hansi Cronje.
It's a great.
That was a tough call, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think Andrew's
150.
It's 150
now.
Hamo.
Wild Oats 550. Blackjack 6. Law Connect 8. Stefan Racing.
Oh,
old mate of ours 67.
On tab. On tab, Stefan's out at 100.
Let's call it.
Yeah.
67 on Morrow.
You'll never get paid.
So I think that we were talking about the race and the complexities of it, but how do you win it? That's the interesting thing. There's just little ships. It's one of those races where you're just going to have to do everything perfectly. And even the big boat's going to have a blinder. So I think you'll see a deserved winner at the end of it.
Cool.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting for sure from a spectator's point of view.
Well, here's hoping, Squark. Santa comes with a sack full of fate and send it south.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Love it, mate. Keeping a close eye on it.
Now, I just got one quick thing that I did promise you last year when we had this chat. We talked in general terms about just bringing you up to date, that is, about a lot of guys getting into dinghies,
where'd you end up?
That sort of stuff. And I was talking about a taser. I've been sailing the taser with my wife now for 6 months.
How's that going?
What, wife of 6 months or sailing the boat for 6 months?
She's been my wife for 6 months and I've had a taser for 6 months. So we're going to see who wins out of that battle. And I've got to say, it's bloody awesome fun.
Oh, good.
We've got the Nationals straight after the Hobart at Toronto.
Toronto. Yeah.
And
bit shifty up in there.
Yeah, we'll stay tuned. I mean, we're very green.
We are speaking to a shifty type of gentleman, so
exactly.
He'll fit right in, you reckon, at Toronto.
You'll have a ball, mate. That'd be great. Good on you.
Yeah, so there you go. The taser. Highly recommend it. It's a good laugh.
Only one problem with the taser: you have to hike.
Don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I'm sharing a house with Mick O'Brien, which is not going to be great neither. Drink red wine and hike.
Two of my favourite things. Oh, hang on. No. Oh, okay. Yeah. Depends what time of day it is.
You hate red wine.
Depends what. Rightio.
All right.
There's Squark. Have a good one, mate.
Cheers, boys.
All the best to the crew. See you,
mate. Good on you.
Well, that was a fun one. I'm sure we've got some more fun ones lined up. Who have you got, Boyce? Who have you got?
Oh, we've got a great Australian on the line for this one. Seasoned campaigner. Some know him as Wade Morgan. We know him as Bubsy. Here he is.
Go ahead,
Bubs, welcome for a quick little pre-Hobart wrap. How you looking? You're all fired up. The boat's good. She's tied to the dock. No, ready to roll.
Yeah, all set, mate. Yeah, we had a little sail yesterday afternoon, another one this morning. So good buzz down the dock, though. There's people scurrying everywhere. It's good.
Oh, the usual.
I guess we should
last
actually
minute.
tell the listener what boat you're on, which is Gualo, the TP52, who've been performing well in the Blue Water point score. Is that what it's called in the latest series? So expecting big things, mate.
Oh, well, we'll try, Matt, see if you can not put the mocker on us. But no, all in all, the team's good. We've sort of been building up for a few years now. So good result back in 2019, I think it was, and very similar crew, not too many changes. So that's the idea, build on where we were and see how we go. But tight fleet, that's for sure.
You know what, boys? We've been banging on about this reverse curse for some time now.
Yep.
And if you come on the show, you actually win.
Problem is, we've had
like 5 or 6
guests.
people win.
Divisional win, maybe.
Yeah. We're going to have to share it out. We'll have to make up our own handicap wins.
I've got a question for you then. Had a look at all the other handicaps with the TPs. Anyone done anything significant?
That's a very good question.
Look at the smile on his face. Look at the smile on Bryce. If you only saw that question.
Yeah,
leading into the ISC Nationals in February, but go on.
Absolutely. Well, we can't wait for those in Port Lincoln, of course. But yeah, look, there's a little bit of a hustle around the dock with regards to ratings, but we'll see how that plays out. Yeah, but some people have had a big late move, so watch this space. Good question, Dick. Not prepared to answer.
Who's some people?
I was just going to say no answer at all.
I'll tell you what. In the wrap,
someone else.
In the wrap, I'll give you some numbers to go by.
Okay, that'd be good to know. I mean, we're not really paying attention. We're just looking inside our own boat, Nick. All the company lines, mate.
Oh fuck! Here we go.
All right, let's talk about the race, the weather. What are you thinking?
Oh, I'm pretty excited about it. Obviously, it's looking pretty good. Again, I can't speak for the whole fleet. I'm not looking at the big boats, or usually have something different, of course. But yeah, look, pretty straightforward in a lot of senses until what's come up in wind speed today. I'm sure you've heard that from your other callers. So that's going to be interesting. I think first 24 hours probably. We're going to see everyone doing probably pretty well. A few boats are better suited and others not as well to the downwind stuff, but rolling into the second night, I think you'll see some passing lanes here and there. It could get quite fresh. So in the early hours of the morning, probably be black as the inside of a cow as usual. Bad sea, everything that we don't like on the 52. So yeah, fingers crossed. Hope we're going to run a bit of hope, I think, and see who's standing by dawn.
So
seems to be the way.
I had a look at a few routes before. You're going to be hard on the tail of these the 70s. Call it the Whisper and the Moneypenny and the Willow. Just basically bringing a bit of extra breeze down. I'm personally in the 52 camp as far as getting there. So what do you need to do to be the first 52 or to sail to your rating? Is it just literally, like you say, a bag full of hope and hold on and go and just put your dry suit on at the start and take it off at the end?
Yeah, well, I'm definitely on the wet weather gear. That is my plan. I ran a nice set of Asics out there today just to check the grip, and then I'll be in the onesie. So yeah, I'll zip into that in Sydney Harbour. But I think depth, within your team is the big key. It's something we had a good race in 2019 versus Itchy Barn where we had similar conditions on the second night, to be honest. And we had a great crew then, and we've got a crew with even a little bit more depth now. I think good trimmers, good drivers on the second day is really where it's at. And with such a strong fleet of 52s, not everyone's got as much depth as other boats, some with more than us potentially, but we've got a squad we know well. So I really think that's where it's at. It's just keeping yourself fresh and being on the ball for the second night, where the race will be kind of lost, I think, by some people and won by others. And, that Tasman ley line, we'll see how that all plays out. But getting in on the coast and driving is pretty gnarly when the wind's up. So I expect to see the 52s probably a bit further offshore and picking a fast run in.
Yeah. And you moved all the bunks to the back of the boat?
All of them, yeah. I don't think we're going to get in them, mate. Then we're going to have to sit on the back rail like we do every other race.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, better sitting on the back rail going downwind than bloody sitting on the side going upwind.
That is true. That is true.
You must,
no doubt.
You're like looking at this, waking up, seeing this forecast. I reckon every single boat except maybe the S&S 34s are just frothing at the moment. You must be frothing just to get out there.
Oh, absolutely. And I missed last year, thankfully. So I'm extra ready to go because I've had a year off, 2 years off, in fact, because we had a cancellation. So I haven't crossed the bats in a while. So I'm pretty ready. Yeah, excited. But to be honest, I don't need 40. A bit less would be nice.
Yeah,
it is the Hobart. You'd hate to think that we're going to see it, but it is the Hobart, so you never know what you're going to get. But what about we've got two internationals here in the 52 side. That is not talking about Sunrise and the smaller boats, but Caro and Warrior One, obviously top notch team again. So have you got an insight on those?
Obviously, both very good and both long term teams now too. With good results, especially Warrior One this year's had a great year.
Yeah.
and to be making the effort, no one does that lightly. So between them and Caro, both well-travelled, seasoned teams, you can expect great things out of them as you can out of all the local boats, to be honest. We do a lot of sailing out here, and I think it'll be really great to have a benchmark versus the good boats from the rest of the world too. And if you can hang on and be in the top of the 52s, you're going to be going pretty well overall. And
absolutely.
Crush as well.
What is it? 13 52s?
Something like that, I think. Yeah. Of which, honestly,
phenomenal.
Yeah, a phenomenal amount. And which, honestly, there's 8 of them that are proper top notch. That are all relatively.
Roy, you just mentioned Crush. Obviously, he's been sold from the old owner Barry Cuneo to the guys in Perth. And I saw Cozzy yesterday actually at the club. Had a chat to him. He's on board. Bit of a different setup. So he's got he's going to be going down with the guys from Perth, which is it's an interesting one for him.
Oh, and it too as well. I saw on the dock. I saw what an amazing strategy from Crush too, to be running their coach on board. No one else does that.
Coach of the year.
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully Ben Durham still remembers how to sail, but they brought the coach onto the game. Captain
I heard he's got a helmet and he's got a GoPro on it, and he's analysing in real time.
Yeah, he was out there today with a notepad.
He's watching a screen of what the boys are doing.
It's a big strategy. Hopefully it pays off for him, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past it. They've been sailing some like big air downwind races off the WA coast. So they're going to be, this is the forecast for them, I'd imagine, if it suits the boat.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, she might be a bit bow down, but
I did a Hobart on that boat with Matt Allen too, and that thing's got wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Don't we know it?
Good. Well, Babs, best of luck, mate. Sending you best wishes from the 26th and get out the heads nicely. Who you got your money on first out the heads?
Oh, first out the heads. I think Comanche's doing a pretty good job recently. Them or Blackjack would be my pick. They both sail really well inshore, and I think they've both got a taste for it. That's for sure. That's where they'd like to focus. But the 100-footer thing, it's going to be an interesting battle with them. Very different sail plans, very different sea state, optimized boats, everything else. So that's going to be cool to watch. And then in the 52s, mate, who knows? Whoever sails well is going to be right there. That's for sure.
I guess the good part
I've currently got. Oh, sorry. Go BP. I always talk over you.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we've got
over the top.
Yeah, right. Okay, ready? Can I talk now? And no, I was just saying that we've got northerly, so it's going to be fairly tactical this going out of the head. So that's going to be a good watch as well. So we do have that to add into it. The last couple of years, obviously, we've had a bit of a lighty sort of downwind start, but this one's going to be like a proper windward start. So it'll be interesting.
Oh, I like it. What
are the odds, boys?
Yeah, the odds.
What are the odds?
Yeah, looking at the odds now. First out the heads, Ando 237, Blackjack 350, Law Connect 433. Could be worth putting a lazy $1 or $2 on Law Connect at 430, but always bet responsibly.
We've got on the handicap, Caro's 375, Warrior One's at 8, and you guys are at 11. They've got Sunrise in at $6 as the second.
$6.
Yeah, and then Alive.
Can you get a box trifecta on those first 3 you mentioned?
That'd be good, wouldn't it?
That'd be interesting.
I don't have that in sports.
I don't mind that,
but I'll give him a call. Let's see.
See what you can get, boss.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not allowed.
We'll just do our own.
No, you're not allowed to. Just
I know.
You got my bank account details.
Righto, Bubs. Well, listen,
All
mate, have a cracking race. Be safe, obviously, first and foremost, but get out there and take it on.
Yeah, bloody oath.
Thanks, man.
Nice.
Cheers.
All right, so looks like we're into the TP, the 52-footers. We should probably reach out to some of the others. Maybe, what about Caro's the favourite? Do we know anyone on Caro? Byston, your brother-in-law, sail on Caro?
Well, he's had the call up. Given that's the one James Patterson, of course, we've spoken of. Probably the most decorated winner in the history of the Sydney to Hobart yacht race. So shall we bring him on? How many Hobarts has it been, Pato? How many wins, mate?
I'm not sure about the most decorated, but I've been able to get three wins so far. So
3 wins.
Just jumping
Not
from boat to boat.
Not only the keys to Adelaide, but the keys to Hobart that unlocks. Absolutely. Customs house.
Customs house key. The front door key to Customs house.
He's the rabbit foot of the Sydney Hobart fleet. Anyone that wants to win, ring up Paddo and get him on board. That's how it works.
Yeah, they're smart.
Is it because, here's a theory, is it because, he's married to your sister?
Jordan, stop right there. You said way too much during our commentary with the Dockside Festival
no.
the one he gets in the shit.
I'm not getting...
They're your words, pal.
I love your sister.
How you going, Paddo?
I'm not going.
How you going, Paddo?
I'm just saying.
I heard she was a bit dark. Yeah.
Hang on. It's a completely different throw. Is Paddo got the ultimate reverse curse because he's forever involved with Parkerati? He's just got the highest...
Is that what it is?
Of reverse curse. That's what it is.
Reverse curse is on.
Nothing about Rach. Nothing about Rach.
So give us a program now, Paddo.
Yep.
Weather looks good. You've run a few routes.
We just spent the last 4 days in Sydney training as a whole team, which went very well. Had a really good productive 4 days, and now a couple of days off. A few of the guys are doing some boat work, getting it all the final touches, and then we're into it. And it's looking incredibly quick, really quick.
Yeah.
The boat or the modelling?
Both.
Yep. I knew you were going to say that.
Good answer. And what do you got at the moment? How long? Just a little overnight cruise, or?
Yeah, one of the models is 1 day, 16 hours. Oof. So that's incredibly quick.
That's fair honking. That is fair honking. So we're getting that message from everyone we're speaking to. It's obviously going to be intense and battle of the what's a bit of a survival, really, isn't it? To think about it.
It will be for sure. And that second afternoon and night, it's looking like it's going to get pretty fruity. So it's keeping the boat all together and just getting down there in one piece.
I thought honestly for a while there, Paddo, your whole effort, because you're on the bow, you're on the bow, is that right? Yeah. Your whole effort might be to put the kite up at the start and then take it down at the finish. That was looking good.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen. We have to do a little bit of upwind, I think.
Yeah, cross Storm Bay. That'll be the way.
Yeah.
No, that's it. But
so you've stepped across. Obviously, you've been on a great team with the Ichiban team for a while, and now stepped across to the Caro team. Any differences you're noticing, bud?
They're quite similar boats, and like similar run programs as well. So everyone's really professional and there to do well and win, really. So reasonably similar. The boat itself is probably a little less, I suppose, technical. It's quite probably a little bit more simple with its systems and operations than Ichiban. So that was noticeable for sure.
Yeah.
It's probably a good thing in this race.
Yeah, for sure.
I've just been having a look at the moon phases. Not much moon on that second night. So you've been eating your carrots?
Yep.
Yeah, Rachel's been feeding you carrots, ready to roll.
Yeah, salad.
So all those reindeer carrots I'll
take care of them.
It's just like Bubsy's comments, like sailing in the inside of a cow.
The other thing that it does raise, like there's bugger all upwind at all. So, I mean, are you guys trying to lose a little weight or anything like that? Are you trying to pull a bit of weight out so you're planing a little bit longer?
Well, I think we're always looking to pull that. Well, what we're allowed to do is, minimise anything extra that we're carrying. We're always doing that. The boat is a little bit lighter than some of the other TPs.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we're only running with 11 crew.
There we go.
Yeah. Wow. There you go. That's a big one.
I think that is a big one.
Yeah.
Normally 15 on a TP. So that's quite a bit of weight in itself.
Is that because they picked you up, James, and they knew that you did the work of three blokes?
That's correct. Yeah. No.
It's a pretty solid bunch of lads, though, isn't it? It's going to be.
Yeah.
So who you got on board actually, Pato? Just for the listener.
Yeah, we've got obviously Justin Ferris is sailing master. Then from the bow we've got Andy McCorkadale, Canadian American. He's just been spending his time with Ineos, Palmer. Got Ken, a young Irishman, and then we've got
Rhino's there.
Rhino, Jono Swain.
Jono Swain's a big one, yeah.
Kelvin Harrop, Jules Salter.
Bunch of shitters, Sam. Jesus,
big names.
Yeah, and then of course yourself, who carry the weight of 4.
Yeah,
it's 4 now.
Well, he's getting stronger.
Another local, Will Parker, who was on Ichiban previously with us. Yeah. So he's jumped on as well.
Very good.
Cool.
Super.
What about from your perspective, being a bowman, do you get involved in obviously with?
I'm not a
bowman.
No.
Don't have a mast on a TP.
When I was a young fella.
Okay. I apologise. I take it back. With your role in the boat, then, are you going through the modelling as well as a team? Like, is that what you guys do? How do you play it? Like,
yeah. Most of the people get involved in the discussion and the emails that get sent through. So everyone's sort of on the page, same page with what to expect. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
For everyone on the boat to know what's coming
Absolutely.
in advance. So, and they can prepare themselves. So, yeah, for sure.
So, what do you reckon will be the big thing that'll make the win here? Is it just hang on for a little bit longer, just sit at the back, hang on as hard as you can, or is it there's going to be a little bit more tactical approach to it?
I think there's a little bit of tactical approach to it. Looks like it's going to get a little soft that first night before it builds again. So there'll be some little sort of transition where we might need to look at jibing, and there's a few little eddies that are flowing as well. So that'll certainly factor in too. So
it's a really good point.
Not just a straight run down. No.
Yeah, that seems to be the general consensus. But also for our international listeners who don't know or have sailed this race, the eddies we're talking about is the East Coast current that flows down the coast, and it can reverse in areas, which you've got to be really careful of, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah. So we're getting all that. We're using the sea surface temperature images, as well as some tide tech modelling to look at where they are, and we'll position ourselves based on that flow.
What are we seeing out there? We're seeing sort of 2 to 3 knots, or we're seeing some more
probably not
places?
3, no. Yeah. 1.5 to 2. Yeah. So there's not really any ripping eddies on the race course as of like yesterday. So
what about
1 to 2 knots is pretty good still.
Yeah.
What about Sunfish Watch? Have you enacted any plans on the Sunfish thing? Have you checked with the Sunfish Union?
We've got one crew on lookout the whole time.
Sitting on the first spreader.
You need our special bar karate patent and Sunfish whistle.
You know, like those.
Doing
just
15
recently.
knots.
Yeah.
A few years ago, doing 15 knots and fuck. Sorry.
So I've got a tip for you. You know, like the Roo whistles that Dave has on the front of the ute. So as you drive, got to put a bunch of them on your keel around the bulb. Okay, that should clear some off.
I found just by accident the other day that a sunfish in German is a Schwimmerdukoff. So it may be, in case they speak German, you might be able to call out to them there. But
take note. Yep.
Schwimmerdukoff.
What about your kids, mate? Have they been giving you any tips? Like, your kids are into the sailing now, doing well.
Yeah. Cleo's getting right into it. So she's interested and enjoying watching my involvement in the race.
Fantastic.
You reckon she'll enjoy some late night video calls home after Customs House?
Yeah, well, 2 years ago when we won an Ichiban, Harley wanted a video of one of us doing a shoey. which
I'll do you one better than that, Harley. I'll do a booty.
And it's not just Dad, it's Frank as well.
Musto HPX booty. Does the Caro run the Frank tank? Water ballast?
Yes.
Yeah. Good.
So we've got, reasonable amount of water ballast. Pretty neat system, which is very cool.
Load her up, Pato.
Yeah, load her up. Very good.
What about? Have you looked at the odds, mate? Don't bet as kids. We just look at this for tipping, but just.
If you wanted to, you could bet responsibly. And Caro's currently at $3, so worth maybe.
I haven't looked at all. So.
And again, by the time you listen to this, it's too late to bet anyway. So you should have put some money on these blokes. Maybe $1 or $2. That's all I'm saying. But
I haven't.
Too late.
I haven't looked at the odds at all, to be honest. So.
Cool.
All right.
I'll be around later and we can do some mystery betting.
Just get my old man involved.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Righto, Pato. All right, we're at that stage again.
Beauty, mate.
Get out there and have a fun. Stay safe.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you. Cheers.
And I was just going to say, because I am kind of in reserve. So if people do find me sailing on Caro, I've spiked Pato's drink on Christmas Day. Okay.
Very good. All right. Good on you.
Yeah,
nice one.
Give my love to Rach, all right? Just
I will.
I know I'm in the bad books. I apologise.
All good.
All right.
That's it.
See you, mate.
Nice one. Cheers.
Jeez, I really hope Rach forgives me, boss. You think I've got any chance?
Nah. Yeah. You've got years of pain ahead of yourself.
All right. Okay, well, I deserve it. BP, mate, you've been working hard. Who have you got next? Who have you got lined up?
Well, we're coming into my world, into the double-handed part of the racing.
About time.
We have managed to get hold of an absolute legend in Australian and/or world sailing, Wendy Tuck. So, Wendy, how are you?
Wendy.
Oh, tip top, thanks, and thanks for including me and inviting me along for the chat.
Well,
so what we've done here, Wendy, we're kind of just doing the rounds, and we've gone down from the big boats all the way through. So 100 footers, 52 footers, 40 footers. Now, where do we see you? What size boat are you running on, Wendy?
Oh, geez, we're way at the bottom there. We're on a little Beneteau 34.7, which I don't think those French are very good at measuring because it's not 34 foot, it's actually 30 foot. So we're tiny.
Well, there's another story in that. Wondersar? What is Wondersar?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Hey, Wendy, you've certainly achieved a lot in your sailing career, and plenty of Hobarts, obviously winning the Clipper and all sorts of stuff. Two-handed, so you've only got one other person to blame. How does that go? With forming cliques and gangs on the boat.
Yeah, it's pretty lonely being in a gang of one. So, but sometimes I think sailing with Campbell G's, I'm sailing with more than one person anyhow. So. But, no, look, it's good. You've got to trust the person you're sailing with and get on with them. But then I say you don't have to because you hardly ever see them. So it's I really like it. And as you said, if something goes wrong, there's no one else to blame but ourselves, which is confronting sometimes, but good.
Which is probably a really good point. Where you're heading into your second Hobart. You're sailing with Campbell Greaves on the Beneteau Speedwell. You finished third last year. Obviously, always looking to improve your results. How are you feeling with the preparation and the forecast and all the stuff that normally is preluding a race?
Yeah, look, we're happy with the prep. We're further advanced in the prep than we've ever been, so that's awesome. But this forecast is not really the best for us. We've got this heavy downwind stuff for 2 days, or just over 24 hours at the start, which is going to be trying for us. But those other boats like Rupert and stuff, they're in the Sunfast, they're just going to take off. So it's really a bit tough at the start going, yeah, we know we're just going to be waiting goodbye to them. And, we would have liked heavy upwind to start off with because that's when we can hang tough with the fleet a bit. But, it is what it is. I hate saying that. But, Yeah, it's gonna be hard. Those first few days are gonna be tough for us because we're gonna have to hand steer majority of the time, especially when we're getting 25 and 30s downwind. So
it's going to be very, very difficult for sure. But I guess an element of survival comes into it. But on top of that, just keeping an eye on everything, making sure everything's safe and sound, and keeping the boat in one piece.
Yeah, and that's it. I think it works in our favour that we don't own the boat. It's Campbell's dad's boat, so we don't push quite as hard as what you might do, because sometimes it's very tempting to keep going at 100% when maybe the conditions say, just take your foot off the accelerator a little bit, and we do tend to do that because we have to get his boat down there for him. So
fair enough.
How do you split the responsibilities on board, Wendy? Do you and Campbell just have your own areas as far as navigation and sail trim and things, or it's pretty much you both take everything on?
Pretty much take everything on. Campbell's more sail selection and stuff because he knows the boat so much better than me. So he'll do sail selection. He'll do more of the hard yards up the front, dropping sails and changing sails, and I'm more in that area. Nav, last year Campbell did a lot more than Nav than I did. I think I'm going to do a lot more this year solely because I've got the computer this year. So I snuck it off home and I've had it in my hot little hands. So, and he's been just changing more physical things on the boat. So, but we do share most, we make the decisions. If there is a nav decision, we said at the very beginning of the whole program, it comes down to my call at the end of the day. So, but everything else is pretty much shared.
Yeah, cool. How's the routing looking at the moment for you guys?
Same question, yeah, good.
Yeah, I just had a look at it on the 29th, but it's saying late evening 29th at the moment, which I don't really believe. But yeah, I'm going to say 30th. So it just depends on this front that comes through. How far down the coast we are when it comes through, and if we can pretty much rumline it, that's going to make it a lot quicker for us because we finished quite late last year. So hopefully it won't be as long as last year, but. Yeah.
Yeah, as with every year, the weather is always it's a forever changing facet of the race. I mean, yesterday it was looking more like this front was going to hold off a bit longer than it has. This morning it looks like it's now moving through a bit quicker. Obviously, that's a bit of an issue with the smaller boats. Is that sort of playing on your mind there? Just mainly trying to get through that transition.
Yeah, it's going to be that transition and where we are. If we're in the straight when it comes across, how far down we are when it comes across. And I think the big thing that I'm more not stressed about, but thinking about is how fatigued are we going to be by the time that gets there? Because this downwind running is going to be really mentally and physically draining for us. And then try to dig deep to go back upwind, but at least upwind we can sit down and steer and chill out a little bit more, even if it is 25, 30s.
It's a massive point you just raised. Then fatigue is huge. Double-handed sailing. I mean, it's relatively new in Australia, and you and I and a few others have experienced quite a lot of it. And I guess the double-handed side, the amount of effort and I guess how do you sort of say it? Amount of time that you've got to focus is really, really difficult, isn't it? How do you manage that?
I've got to the point where I know my limitations. I know how long I can go without sleep because I've had a lot of practice at it over the years. So I know when I get to that breaking point and when my decision making isn't as good as it should be, and hopefully Campbell recognises that now as well, and same for Campbell. But it's just really tough. You've got to go, okay, where can we make the most gains now? And it's going to be hand steering and this heavy downwind stuff. We've just got to push through it. So luckily that's at the beginning of the race. It's not the end. Like if it was at the end, that's when you might start just not steering quite as well as you should be. So that's one benefit for us, that we are going to be relatively fresh when it is heavy downwind.
Well, there's not many boats where the crew say you'd rather be going upwind as opposed to downwind. But in saying that, like in the heavy air downwind stuff, what's your sail cards look like, or sail selection in regards to keeping the boat under the pointy thing in the air?
Yeah, what happened last year on that very first night where it was a bit unpleasant, we had two reefs in our number 4 up. And we're just slamming off waves, and you'd be laying or go down below to check something and do that. That cover doesn't fall off the wall and hit me in the head. So we talked about putting the third reef in, and Campbell just made the decision that let's just get the main down completely. So we sailed last year for about an hour and a half or so without a mainsail up, and it just took enough speed off that we weren't fully launching off the waves, which is what we needed, And then once we got the main back up again, we we're going to keep going offshore because that's where we should have been. But in the end, we tacked back in. So because, again, it was getting boat breaking stuff. And it's like, yeah, we would have done so much better by staying further out, but we came in when we didn't want to, but we had to, So going upwind, at least one person can be off watch sleeping. It's not comfortable. And Campbell did come up to me at one stage and he just looked at me and said, "You must be the only effing person in this whole effing fleet that's still smiling." And I think he probably was right.
Well, the only other ones that were smiling were back in the bar at the CYC. So, bravo.
Good point. Good point.
Well, I reckon you've got to. Well, like you say, it's going to be full on for the first couple of days, and then you've got that nice little southerly stuff coming through. So hopefully that then puts you back in contention with a bit of that sort of stuff against the rest of the fleet. And how do you see yourself setting up against those guys or the rest of the fleet for that matter?
Oh, look, in our, not just the two-hand division, in our division, we're down in Divi 5. We think we can do okay down in Divi 5. Overall, not so good, I don't think. It's just, you just got to keep up with them. So hopefully we can gain ground and we can get back there. But I think the 2 days where the Sunfasts and the other, two-handed boats that are designed for two-handed sailing, they're just going to, and designed for downwind sailing, they're just going to smash us. So I'm going for, the money's going to be on Rupert. I mean, he's such a good sailor. He performs well. He really looks after his boat. And I think it's about time he had some good luck as well.
Yeah, good point.
How about our friends on the TP52 double-handed?
Yeah, I'm quite good friends with them. I think they'll do okay, but,
handful.
Well, that's what I don't think it's a secret what Tomo said. Tomo said, if it's really windy, we will just have really small sails up. If it's really light, we have big sails up. That medium, 15, 20s, that's where they're going to struggle because then it's hard for them to change sails. So if they know it's full on small sails. So I think it's going to be hard for them because it's going to be those transition zone for the first day, isn't it? As you go out with big sails, then it starts building. It's like, I think their decision is going to be when do we pull it down and get something smaller up and just go, under head sail. So if it doesn't get too windy, absolutely they'll be smoking along. But who knows?
Cool. Good. And the nerves on the dock are all pretty relaxed, or people are going back and forth, not quite sure what to do?
We're still doing lots of last minute things and stuff, nothing major, we're ready to go, but it seems pretty chilled out down here at the moment, so don't know if that's real or everyone's hiding it well, but I'm just looking at another two-hander. He's got his tarp up, just sitting there reading a book in the cockpit. It's like, how do you do that?
Nice work.
How the hell does that happen?
Yeah. Wendy,
it's not too bad. Sorry. Yep.
We got like a huge number, 20 plus double-handers entering the race. Obviously, what's your views? You've joined the double-hander fleet. Do you think this is a growing fleet, or it's just going to become the preeminent fleet, or what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I from my side of the world, yeah, it is because it's a lot cheaper, two-handed, smaller boats, and it is that next challenge, isn't it? And it's nice. You see a lot of there's families sailing together, or fathers and sons, or just good old mates. So I think it will keep growing because the costs aren't out of the world. The majority of the two-handed fleet, none of us have brand new sails every season, brand new this, we just got this boat, we're going to make this boat work. So the cost factors are way a lot further down the dollar signs are a lot less. So I think it will keep going.
Yeah, and we've also got the camaraderie side of things. The double-handed guys and girls, they're all there supporting each other, and obviously the push for the fleet over the season with the being a part of the events as well, all help out. So that's a good point as well.
Yeah, well, when this all started back in big bad days of COVID, when we could just go out and train and you could have two people on a boat, Campbell started, my sailing buddy started a WhatsApp group, and then we had like 4 boats in it to start off with, going, all right, we can all get out there on Saturday, let's go do a mock start and race and stuff. That WhatsApp group now, I don't even know how many people are in it now, it's massive. So, there's still that camaraderie, as you said. And we had battery trouble. Someone sorted out our batteries for us. Someone else had HF radio trouble. Someone in the group sorted out someone else's trouble. So it's really nice. You know, we're all very helpful to each other on the dock, but obviously when we start racing, we're all very competitive. So it's really nice, you know. So at prize givings and stuff, when you've got crews of 10 all hanging out together, we've got like the biggest group now with all the two-handers, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're loud.
Very good.
I like it.
Very cool.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, Wendy. And well, to you, both you and Campbell, and we'll be keeping a close eye on things as you're sliding down south.
Thank you, and hopefully we keep sliding.
Good on you, Wendy. Listen, stay safe and have a great race, and obviously to all the double-handers as well, stay safe and have a great race.
Okay, and thank you. Thanks so much for contacting me. It's awesome.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Well, once again, the Hobart has created and attracted a very diverse fleet. We hopefully during that session spoke to a lot of people and had a lot of different opinions and point of views. But in particular, for me, the double-handed obviously is where I'm interested. And it was great speaking to Wendy.
BP, we got to ask, bud. We got to ask. Looking at this weather forecast, and Wendy was talking about those boats that were going to scream off downwind. The X2, mate, would it have been there in 2 days?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, to me, I'm trying to not think about it too much. To be honest, it's kind of one of those situations that is a bit of a heartstrain. To be honest,
it would have been. We're sad for everyone involved, but geez, it would have been wonderful to see that X2 fly down the coast.
We haven't stopped. We'll be there next year.
Well, the only problem is the forecast this year looks so freaking good. Of course, as you said, I think in that interview, the forecast has changed slightly. Now we've got, after about the evening on the Wednesday, the 28th, it looks like southerly's going to come through. So you've got a nice building northerly, nor'easter on the way down the coast, and the faster boats will get through. TP's probably in, we know that. Maybe even Sunrise, the 36 reckons she'll get there. But if it, as it stands now, you wouldn't want to be in a smaller boat, would you?
Looking at it, no.
Nah. You just get your sea legs ready for downwinding, and then next thing you know, Bushka just punched straight in the nose. And I reckon punch so hard you'd probably get a blood nose as well. So,
look,
I just like a little love tap. It's like here we go.
Yeah, I guess the big thing is that it is changing very rapidly. I mean, yesterday, as I mentioned earlier, it was looking like that northerly was going to stay around a bit longer, but this morning the southerly seems to have moved forward a bit with time. So, see what happens over the next day or so, and we'll know more, obviously. But hopefully it's it's not as bad as it's looking this morning.
Well, actually, I should mention, while we're talking about, this change coming through, the race that everyone forgets, the Launceston to Hobart, which goes down the other coast, starts on the 27th. So it starts the day after. Geez, they could...
they're looking like a big smashing, aren't they?
Might just stay in the harbour, boys, is one thought. But so just for those that are doing the Launceston Hobart, and we know a few of the listeners are, because they've definitely sent us some reminders, that best of luck and stay safe out there for that one. I was going to say, on those first 2 days, I've been thinking about it, right? With this whole growing double-hander fleet, right? You've got boats that have got no crew in them, and you've got this strong northerly forecast for several days. If you're on a double-hander, you've got an advantage because you're not really having to do many sail changes. You just unfurl and furl, and no weight to slow you down. You just slide downwind as fast as the boat can go. Like, in this sort of forecast, is there a big advantage in being a double-hander suddenly?
Well, I think Wendy tapped on it. I think Wendy tapped on how physically demanding it is. And I think that, as I said earlier as well, that, double-handed is relatively new in Australia in particular. And a lot of people don't realise how hard it is to sail a boat on your own. I think that's the big difference. And I think that's what Wendy's and Campbell and all the double-handed crew are going to be brutally aware of how taxing it is and how they need to look after their their energy levels. And I think that's really, really important. And aside of being light and having less crew and all that jazz, they've got to make sure that they can get pushed through the fatigue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think going back to some of those boats, Jordan, they'll just be doing conventional sail changes.
Yep.
Because there's only probably a handful that are fully set up like what we see in the Northern Hemisphere.
Yep.
Correct.
So they're making life pretty hard for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
As far as going downwind, there's a couple of boats there that riding moment is key.
Mm-hmm.
And you would go faster with more riding moment.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some boats there where the lighter displacement is going to be an advantage for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, that's always the way up. How with two people on board, how hard can you push it? When do they start backing it off? All those sorts of things. So going to be interesting. But 22 double-handers on the start line is a super start for bringing that sort of racing to the Southern Hemisphere.
It's interesting. I'm thinking, whilst we're still on the smaller boats where the double-handers tend to be, there's a couple of SNS 34s, and I like to have a little bit of laugh at the SNS. Do you think that the crews on those boats currently are sitting there unhappy about the first 2 days and starting to smile about the next few days?
Well,
I don't think you're ever going to be smiling about a southwesterly down in Bass Strait, are you?
I'm just wondering about their mental acuity. That's all.
Yeah, no, it's a strange place to be, hoping to be going upwind. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
But put it this way, half the fleet, well, probably more than half the fleet will be doing that.
Correct.
Going upwind in this particular race.
So with this change coming through then, to my eye, we've got a building northerly, so the maxis will scream down, the hundreds will scream down and the big boats, and then, your TPs and your really, really fast, sort of slightly smaller than 50s, will probably make it down before the change currently, based on the modelling we're seeing. Is it a TP race? Because, the smaller boats
we're going to start. We're going to start talking about it. We're going to start talking about who is starting. The race is starting to favour, and I'm starting to still be in that sort of 50 to 60 range.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, line honours is a different story, but that 50 to 60 range is going to be very, very interesting, and we'll start to see it form pretty quickly as they get off the start line. And where they position themselves after that first sort of night, I guess, is going to be the real key, and that's going to be the point of the race where we're going to be able to start saying, either these guys are strong or these guys are strong.
Right.
That's how I feel.
Nah, definitely not.
No,
definitely not.
Oh,
for me, it is different point of view. Not an argument. For me, it's who makes it around the corner in the northerly, having taken full advantage of the northerly before the next, because the breeze is going to increase from the north, and if you can sneak around the corner and then with the change coming, you have a massive advantage, and that includes the boats in front of you as well, because the breeze is going to increase, change. So the later you make it around the corner, it sounds a bit backwards here, but the later you make it around the corner in the northerly, you're going to be sailing way faster. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's something around the mid 40-foot mark.
Mm-hmm.
It's either going to be a TP or someone a little bit smaller.
Well, Sunrise, it's, if you can fang it, like I see what you're saying. So you want to time it perfectly. You go all the way down on the northerly, turn the corner, and then you got southerly to send you up into the Derwent. Is that that's kind of what you're saying?
Yep, basically.
Yeah.
And you reckon that boat will
there's
win?
going to be someone that times it perfectly. That's what you're saying.
With the
pretty much. Well, unfortunately, the timing will be left a little bit to Santa's sack full of fate. So So we'll just see there. But even if it's, say, you've got 20 miles to Tasman Island, if you're doing 20 knots, or if you're there a little bit later, you're only doing 8 knots. So those couple of hours could be the difference.
Who's going to have the most fun out of the fleet? Like, clearly, for 2 days, it's just froth on. You would want to be on every boat. You just want to be screaming down the coast. Who's going to have the most fun? Is it Comanche? Is it Volvo 70? What is it? Which boat would you most want to be on?
It's Maluka, of course. Let's just get things straight here. So,
there's no way.
Built like 1932. Actually, I'm going to change that. 100% the most fun. Bacardi. Having competed in 29 Hobarts. The boat itself knows how to get there, so they don't even have to steer it. And it's well decorated, and it has a slightly large icebox on board. So I reckon those blokes and lasses, they'll be having a absolute ball.
I agree with that comment, and I think that's a good topic of discussion. And just quickly before we leave, 29 Hobarts, it's amazing effort. Just that point on itself, but they've got a good boat for this particular weather forecast, haven't they?
Well, actually, I'll beg to differ on that. Just for the argument. If it was a southerly for 4 days, absolutely, they won't be setting the world on fire on the northerlies.
No, I guess just more in a reliability point.
I mean, they'll be waiting for that southerly from a performance point of view. They'll be waiting for that southerly. They want that southerly to come early. They want to get in there and really just strap in and let the old Peterson just send it.
It'll unravel soon.
The interesting thing, one of the things I'm really interested in is we've got, I think, Bicey, you mentioned it earlier on, how many TPs or 52s are racing. Let's just call them TPs for simplicity's sake. The closeness of the racing and the intensity of that group will spread out to all the boats around, and I just think there's going to be some incredibly hard push boats that are just going to be no relax, nothing, just fully on the edge for 2 days. What do you reckon?
Oh, mate, it is absolute ring hanging out. The competitiveness between that particular bunch of boats, there'll be you cannot turn up in Customs House, and this is a bit of a cliche saying, we left something out there. There can be no excuse. They cannot back off for 2 seconds because there's, as Wade said, there's probably 8 boats within that 52 fleet that's going to win it.
Absolutely agree with that one.
Yeah, there's a few cool boats. I'm really interested in to see how Enterprise Next Generation go, because I like the little GP42s. I'm very keen to see how they'll go. There was, I think it's Yeah Baby or something. I think that's a sort of, looks like an old open 40 sort of shape. So there's a few little fun ones that I think could be interesting to see how go. I like to see how the Sunfast zooms down there because, they'll love those sorts of conditions. Obviously, the Comanche is going to be the most fun to watch. When you get some footage of that thing, she's going to be just smoking along. There's Papillon, which is an Archambault. So they're quite a wide French bum on them. So, I'm really interested to see how a few boats are going to go. Obviously, the only other question I really wanted to ask is how cool would it, and I've said this so many times and you're getting sick of it, I'm sure, how cool would it be to see an Omoka 60, fully foiling Omoka 60 in this race?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we can't let the French take over too much. We got rid of them with the submarines. Now they're taking over with the double handers, so let them go with the Omokas, eh?
Well, they love their sailing, but I just would love to see just how quick. I mean, it's not often you get perfect condition. It's not quite perfect. It's a bit square. We know that for them, so it wouldn't be perfect, but it would still give you some indication. Yeah. Anyway,
Cool.
Be cool.
Hey, so what's our plan for the race, boys? We'll just try and jump on whenever we can, give a few little updates. I mean, we all have some commitments, obviously, so probably won't have the advantage of what we had last year with shutdowns and what have you. But we'll just try our hardest.
Yeah, so
we will try our hardest. I'm living and breathing it, so I'll be there when you guys are there.
Yeah, we'll go live. And so we'll do it onto either YouTube Live or Facebook Live. Should we try and...
Yeah, probably Facebook Live, I'd say.
So if you watch our socials, we'll try and give you a heads up. And I guess our perfect world will have morning and evening, if we can. Worst case scenario, probably evening, Australian time. And there we'll just try and give you the updates. Last year, BP was just all over it, mate. The Savant.
Calling it.
The Hobart Savant.
No argument
this
for
year.
Me on that one.
So
bit of a tougher year this year, but we'll get through it as a team.
Here we go.
Do it as a team, and we'll do it my way.
That's right.
Oh dear, I love it. It's just too much fun to be had. Look, it's going to be awesome watching. Like, I think, it's the best possible setup of a race where we've got them tacking out of the harbour, where we get to see carnage, but boats going in through the spectator fleet and boats calling starboard. And, the last time we had this, BP just ignored the rules, I think is what we remember. Is that right?
Rewrote the rule book.
Here we go.
In a practical sense.
Yeah,
we just adjusted the rules this way.
As the old adage is, you love one goat, hey?
Yeah, that's all it takes.
Oh dear! All right, boys. All right.
Well, all right.
Look,
good on you.
Okay.
Yeah. Catch you later, lads.
So everyone.
Good luck to everyone in the race. Bye bye.
We'll see you during the week in a day or two.
No talented people.
No stars out in this race.
Take me